Okay, so today we are going to look at cells. Okay, we are going to look at cells. So this is a very important topic in biology because it never misses. In every past paper you find cells. In every past paper you find cells. Starting from where it started from, you find what? You find cells. So cells are very important. Okay, they are very what? They are very important. An organism cannot exist without a cell. A human being, a plant, or anything that you can think of, for as long as it is living, it cannot exist without a cell. Anything that is living, for as long as it is a living organism, it has a cell. So cells are very important in biology, okay? So they are very important, so you need to know what cells are, what they are made of, what types of cells do we have, okay? So we are looking at cells today. Okay, so what is a cell? What is a cell? Okay, what is a cell? So you need to know what a cell is, okay? So you need to know what a cell is. So a cell is a basic unit of life, okay? A cell is a basic unit of life. A basic unit of what? Of life. What does it mean? So without this, there cannot be life. Without a cell, life cannot be there. Okay? So for life to exist, you need a cell. Your body is made of a lot of cells, okay? Is made of a lot of cells. So without those cells, you cannot exist as a human being. Even a plant itself, it cannot exist. So it is a basic unit of life. So it is needed for life to be there, okay? So you need a cell for you to exist. So it is a basic unit of life. Or you can actually define it in another way, okay? So you can even say that a cell is a basic unit of a living organism, is a basic unit, okay? So a basic unit of a living organism, okay? So you might be confused, what is an organism? Even you are an organism, okay? So a cell is a basic unit of a living organism. Is a basic unit of a living organism, or should I say a functional unit of a living organism. So without a cell, a body cannot function, okay? A body cannot function. So you need cells. So cells are very important. You need to follow them very well. In past papers, you find cells. In every past paper, you find cells. So cells, they are very important, okay? So what are we really talking about? What are we talking about? So there are actually two types of cells that you need to know. There are two types of cells, and there are also specialized cells. Okay, we'll look at them when we look at cell specialization. But firstly, we'll look at what? A plant cell as well as an animal cell. So those are the types of cells that we are going to look at. Okay, types of cells like that. Okay, so there is what? There is a plant cell, as well as a what? An animal cell. Okay, an animal cell. Okay, so a plant cell and an animal cell. So these cells can be, you can see them using a Microsoft, okay? Using a Microsoft. Now there are types of Microsoft that you can use to view a cell. So there is a light Microsoft as well as an electronic Microsoft. Okay, a light Microsoft or an electronic Microsoft. So a light Microsoft, it will give you just a simple structure of a cell. Okay, it will give you a simple structure of a cell. But an electronic Microsoft, it will show you a detailed cell. Okay, either it is a plant cell or an animal cell. It will show you everything. Okay, it will show you everything, the detailed. But today we are going to look at a simple structure of cells. Simple structure of cells. So we'll look at an animal cell, a plant cell as well. Okay, so let's try to draw this. Let's say this is how a plant cell looks like. Okay, so it looks like this. It looks like this, right? Okay, so it looks like this. Then it has what we call the cell membrane, this one. Okay, so we have what we call a cell membrane. I mean the vacuole. This is the vacuole. The cell membrane, it's just here. Okay, like that. Then it will show you what? It will show you these are what we call chloroplasts. Okay, chloroplasts. To show you what? Chloroplasts, like that. Okay, then there is also what we call a nucleus. Okay, a nucleus like that. So that is a nucleus. Okay, like that. Let's try to draw an animal cell. So whenever you see something like this, just know that it is an animal cell. Okay, so this animal cell only has the cell membrane and the nucleus. Okay, only has the cell membrane, the nucleus, and also cytoplasm. Okay, cytoplasm. So we need to know what these are. Okay, so I'm just drawing this, but I'll explain everything about these parts. Okay, so I will explain everything about these parts. Okay, so this is what? This is a plant cell. Okay, so this is a plant cell, this is an animal cell. Okay, so whenever you see something like this, so these are just structures, simple structures of a plant cell and an animal cell, like that. Okay, so you also need to know the parts of a cell. You need to know the parts of cells. Okay, so this on the animal cell, this which is outside, okay, the outer part of the cell, this is what we call the cell wall. Okay, the cell wall. Okay, that is what we call the cell wall. Then the following part after the cell wall, the part that follows, we call it the what? The cell membrane. Okay, cell membrane. Let me write it like this. The cell membrane. So this is the cell membrane. So even on the animal cell, this is the cell membrane, not the what? Not the cell wall. Okay, so an animal cell only has 3 parts. Okay, an animal cell only has 3 parts under a light Microsoft. under a light microscope, the one that you can see just simple structures. Okay, so you only see three parts. You see the cell membrane, you see the nucleus. So this is what we call a nucleus. Okay, nucleus. Okay, the nucleus. Then these, we call them cytoplasm. Okay, cytoplasm. We call them cytoplasm, like that. Then, so it has three parts. For the animal cell has three parts. There is what we call the nucleus, there is cytoplasm, there is also a cell membrane, which is the outer part of an animal cell. So this, under a plant cell has, there is this part which is not in here. So this part we call it chloroplast. Okay, chloroplast. Okay, chloroplast, like that. Then this part, okay, this part which is here, we call it the vacuole. Okay, the vacuole. The vacuole. I'm sure you are able to see. That is what we call the vacuole. And also this part, it has cytoplasm. Okay, so a cell, a plant cell also has what we call cytoplasm. Okay, cytoplasm. Cytoplasm, like that. Okay, it has cytoplasm. So if you look at a plant cell, okay, so a plant cell, I've said that this outer part here, this outer part, so this vacuole, it's just this space which is here, this space which is right there. Okay, so I said that a plant cell has what? As the cell wall, which is the outer part, followed by the what? The cell membrane. Okay, then this liquid which is inside this one, this is what we call cytoplasm. Okay, cytoplasm. Then this space here, it is called the what? The vacuole. Then there's this part, it is called the what? The nucleus. Okay, nucleus. The nucleus, that part there. Okay, so you need to look at the differences and the similarities of what? Of these cells. Okay, you need to look at the differences and the similarities of these cells. What is the difference? If you look at them, what are the differences? Okay, what are the differences? So if you look at this plant cell or this animal cell, it only has what? Three parts. Okay, it only has three parts. So there is what? There is a nucleus. Okay, there is cytoplasm. There is also a cell membrane. So the similarities, what we mean by similarities, those things that are similar between these two cells. What are those parts which are similar? You'll be asked questions. You'll be asked questions in your exams to say, what are the similarities that are there between a plant and an animal cell? So how do you answer that? So you need to be able to know every part of a cell. You need to know every part of the cell for you to know this. Okay, so you need to know that a plant cell only has the what? The cytoplasm, which is the liquid, the nucleus, the what? The cell membrane. Okay, so you need to know. So the similarities, so there are those parts which are similar to this part, to this cell, to the plant cell. So those parts which are similar to an animal cell. Okay, so in here, this plant cell also has a what? As a cell membrane. Okay, this as a cell membrane, it has also a cell membrane. Okay, an animal cell has cytoplasm. Okay, an animal cell has cytoplasm. Even a plant cell has what? Has also cytoplasm as well. It has as well. Okay, so they both have what? They both have nucleus. Okay, they both have the what? The nucleus. Okay, so those are the similarities. You say plant cell and animal cell, they both have what? Nucleus, cytoplasm, even the cell membrane. Okay, so those are the similarities. Now, what are the differences between these two cells? You'll be asked as well, what are the differences between these two cells? What are the differences? Okay, so the differences is that in here, the animal cell, you won't find the cell wall. Okay, you won't find what? The cell wall. You won't find the cell wall. So when you talk of an animal cell, okay, when you talk of an animal cell, this is a cell that is found in what? In an animal. Okay, in an animal. That is this cell. Okay, and it doesn't have what? It doesn't have a cell wall. Okay, it doesn't have this outer part which the plant cell has. This plant cell, it is found in plants. Okay, it is found in plants, and it has what? The cell. This cell, it is that hard part that you see on a plant. If you see a plant, this is the hard part that you see. Okay, so this is what we call a cell wall, the outer part of a plant. Okay, that is what I'm talking about. So this animal cell doesn't have that cell wall. It doesn't have that cell wall. So the difference is that a plant cell has a cell wall, an animal cell doesn't have a cell wall. Okay. The other thing is that a plant cell has a vacuole. This is this space. Okay, this space. I'll explain the functions. Don't worry, I'll explain the functions of all these parts so that you understand. So make sure that you finish this full video for you to get every concept that I'm going to explain here. So the cell, this plant cell has a vacuole, but if you look at this plant, this animal cell doesn't have what? Doesn't have that space like this one. Okay, so a plant cell has a vacuole, while an animal cell doesn't have a vacuole. What else? So there is also the presence of what? The presence of chloroplasts. Okay, the presence of chloroplasts. Okay, so chloroplast here in an animal cell, you find chloroplasts like this. They are bigger than what? Than the cytoplasm. They are bigger than the cytoplasm. If you can see here, they are bigger than the cytoplasm. So the plant cell has chloroplast, while an animal cell doesn't have what? Doesn't have chloroplast. So the difference is that they don't have this. Okay, so they don't have this, the chloroplast, cell, and the vacuole. Okay, physically you can actually differentiate them by their shapes. Okay, so you can see that the shape of an animal cell, it is like this. Okay, it is like this, and the shape of a plant cell, it is like that. Okay, so those are the differences. So we've talked about similarities, the parts, and the differences. Now we are going to talk about the functions of these parts. Okay, so we'll start with what? The nucleus. Okay, so these cells, they have the nucleus. Okay, they have the nucleus. So we'll start with what? The nucleus. the nucleus, like that, the nucleus. Okay, so the nucleus this nucleus, it controls all the cell activities, okay, all the activities of a cell, okay. It also stores genetic information, okay. So I said that it controls all the activities, okay, the activities of a cell, okay. So everything that a cell does, the functions, everything. So the nucleus, it is the one that controls, okay. So it controls all the activities that happen in the cell, in this whole cell, this cell here. This nucleus, it is the one that controls everything, okay. It controls all the activities of the cell, okay. So even a plant cell, it has a nucleus. A plant cell has a nucleus, even an animal cell has a nucleus. So this part here, it is the most important because it controls all the activities that happen in a cell, okay. So apart from that, this part, the nucleus itself, it also stores genetic information, okay, genetic information on the threads of the DNA. It stores genetic information. All right, so what are we talking about? What are we really talking about? So genetic information, this is just the information that you can actually use even to, okay, so even let's take it for example. You have a child and you are not really sure if that is your child, okay. That is not, if you are not sure if that is your child. These instances happen, okay. So they will take that, they will get that DNA in order to check for what, for the information which is the genetic information that we are talking about. They will use that genetic information to know if that child is really your child, okay. How are they going to do it? Okay, so they'll get that information from a cell, specifically from the what, the nucleus. So this nucleus, it is the one that will give them that information, okay. It is the one that will give them that same information that we are talking about here. So it stores genetic information. It also controls the what, the activities of the cell. So that is the function of the nucleus. What else? What are we talking about? So we are going to talk about the cell membrane, okay. Cell what? Cell membrane. That is what we are going to talk about. Okay, so the function of a cell membrane, it controls those particles that enters and leaves the cell. I mean, it controls the substances that enters and leaves the cell, okay. So it is also called a selective permeable membrane, okay. It is called a selectively permeable membrane. That is the other name. So it controls, okay, so it controls, or should I say the movement of particles, or the movement of substances, okay, the movement okay, the movement of substances in and out of the cell, okay. in and out of the cell. So it controls the movement of substances that enters or leaves the cell. So that is the function of the what? The cell membrane. So I said that it is called the what? A selective permeable membrane. So a selective permeable membrane, from the word selective, meaning that it selects the substances that enters it, okay, that enters in it. So there are some substances that have bigger molecules and there are some substances that have smaller molecules, okay. So this cell membrane, it will be able to select which particles enters or leaves the cell, okay. So this is the function of the what? The cell membrane. Like water has smaller particles, so the water particles, they just enter direct in the what? In the cell, because they are just small particles. So there are some other substances that are of large particles, so they will not enter the cell, okay. They will not enter the cell. So you need to know the function of the cell membrane. So that is the function of the cell membrane. It selects the substances that enters or leaves the cell. So make sure that you know the functions of the cell membrane, the functions of the cell. So I'm going to explain other parts of the cell. I'm going to explain other parts of the cell. Okay, so we have the cell wall, okay, the cell wall. So this cell wall, it actually gives the shape of a cell, okay. It gives the shape of the cell. If you look at this cell here, this animal cell here, so the way it is, okay, it looks 4 corners like that. It is very strong like that. So it gives this cell a shape, okay. If you look at this one, it has a different shape. So this cell, it gives this plant cell a shape, okay. That is what it does. And also it protects the cell from any mechanical damage, okay. It protects the cell from any mechanical damage. So these parts which are inside here, they are not that strong, okay. They are not that strong, but this cell, it is very strong, such that it can even protect these other parts which are outside, okay. It can protect these other parts of the inside parts, okay. So let's take it for instance. Let's compare between an animal cell and a plant cell, okay. So an animal cell, we can talk of the skin, okay. We can talk of the skin. So the skin is so soft. It's so soft, even when you hit it with anything, you'll be able to feel that pain, okay. But the plant is very strong. A plant is very strong. Even a car can eat into it, but you find that it will just be like that, okay. So it is very strong, that it can even protect these parts which are inside. But this outer part, this cell membrane, it is not that strong to protect the plant, okay. So let's take it for example, we use fire, okay. Let's take it for example, we use fire. So this plant cell, this animal cell, it will burn fast than this, okay. It will burn faster than this. So we'll explain more when we look at osmosis. We'll explain more when we look at osmosis, how the plant cell behaves, okay, how an animal cell behaves when certain substances enters it, okay. That is what we are going to look at, but we are actually looking at the function. So the functions, it protects the cell from any mechanical damage, okay, and also it gives the cell a shape. That is what the function of the cell wall, okay. That is the function of cell wall. So we also have we also have this what we call the vacuole. Okay, so the vacuole, its function, it stores cell sap. Okay, it stores cell sap. Okay, so it stores what? It stores cell sap. That is what it does, this vacuole. Okay, the vacuole, it stores what? It stores cell sap. Okay, cell sap. Now what is that? What is cell sap? Okay, what is cell sap? So cell sap, it is actually a solution of salt and sugar. Okay, a solution of what? Of salt and sugar. So those sugars, those sugar that you find in a plant, okay, those sugars that you find in a plant, you find that some plants are very sweet. Okay, they are very sweet. Some plants are salt. Okay, so those sweets, they are stored in what? That sweet is stored in what? In the vacuole. Okay, so that's where you can find what? You can find sugars and salt. So it stores what? Cell sap. So cell sap, I've said that it is just a solution of what? Of sugar, of sugars, and what? And salts. Okay, and salts. Of course, a solution cannot be there without water. So mean that there is also the presence of what? The presence of what? Of water. Okay, there is a presence of water. So it is actually a solution. It is a solution, and this solution, you find it in what? In a vacuole. That space, this space. Okay, so the vacuole stores cell sap. That is where you can find what? You can find sugars and salt. So you should know the functions. Okay, you should be able to explain what it is and what it does. Okay, so you should be able to explain that. So what else are we going to talk about? So we'll talk about cytoplasm. Cytoplasm, that liquid. Cytoplasm, that liquid which is in there. Okay, so cytoplasm, this cytoplasm, it actually gives the shape of the cell. It gives the shape of the cell. If you look at this animal cell, let's take it for instance. We get a plastic and we put some water inside. So when you put some water inside the plastic, it will actually give a certain shape in which the water will be. Okay, so but a plastic without water, it won't look like the plastic with water. So it actually gives what? The shape, it actually gives a cell some shape. Okay, so that is what cytoplasm does. Okay, so it gives the shape, and also this cytoplasm, it is actually made from dissolved sugars and salts. Okay, so dissolved sugars and salts such as proteins, sugars, salts. Okay, so those ones which are dissolved, and that is what it is made of. And also in here, this is where all the activities take place. Okay, so in the cytoplasm, the function of it, that is where the site where all the activities, everything that happens, it happens from here. Okay, so everything that happens, it happens from the cytoplasm there. Okay, so that is the function for a cytoplasm. And the other thing that you are not supposed to forget is that there are parts that are collectively called protoplasm. The three parts of the cell, okay, the three parts of the cell: cytoplasm, cell membrane, and the nucleus. They are called what? Protoplasm. Okay, they are called what? Protoplasm, like that. They are called protoplasm. So these parts, they are very important. Without these parts, this cytoplasm nucleus, cell membrane, a cell cannot exist. Okay, a cell cannot exist. It must have these parts. So if you see, this is an animal cell, this is the what, a plant cell, they have those parts. So they need to have protoplasm. The protoplasm, it is just a combination of what, cytoplasm, nucleus, as well as the cell membrane. Okay, so that is what we call protoplasm. So those parts, when we collect them together, we put them together, we call them protoplasm. That is what we call them. They are called the what? The living part of the cell. So a cell cannot live without those. So that is what we call protoplasm. Okay, so and we actually have these parts which are here like this. Okay, these ones they are called chloroplast. As I said, they are called chloroplast. This is the site of what? Of photosynthesis. That is where photosynthesis takes place. How does photosynthesis take place? How does it take place? Okay, so the reason is simple, is that these chloroplasts, they store what we call they store what we call chlorophyll. Okay, they store what we call chlorophyll. So chlorophyll, it is just a green pigment. Okay, a green pigment found in plants. So you see that color in which is there, which is in plants, and it is actually green. It is green. Okay, it is green. So that chlorophyll, it is the one that gives that color. Okay, and it is also the part that actually is used in what? In photosynthesis. So this is where photosynthesis is. So this chlorophyll, it is the one that attracts what? Sunlight. Okay, it is the one that attracts sunlight for the plants for photosynthesis to take place in plants. So that is the function of what? Of the chloroplast. They store chlorophyll, which is responsible for what? For photosynthesis. Okay, because this is a site of photosynthesis. Okay, so that is what we actually looked at today. Okay, so that's what we are looking at. So make sure that you understand, read notes. Okay, I'll actually send some notes for you so that you read and understand everything, so that the next time that we come, it will be just a walkover. I'll explain everything. Thank you.